All right, guys, welcome to Take Your Base. I'm your host, Flav Oriana, brought to you by Four Corner Sports. All right, guys, so we got some big news. I know I'm a little late on this first part that I'm going to say, but the Mets have officially got James McCann. Yes, we are no longer in the sweepstake of JT Realmuto, but we got the second best thing in the gourmet aisle, and it is James McCann. James McCann is officially now going to be catching for the New York Mets in Flushing. And honestly, guys, I gotta say, I'm okay with this thing. I am officially okay with this move. I actually like it a lot because think about it. Real Muto and McCann are very similar in ages, all right? Many people forget the fact that James McCann was a former All-Star. He was actually an All-Star in 2019. Many people don't even remember that because of the fact that he was playing for the White Sox. It's one of the most unfortunate things I gotta say about baseball is that it's not like football where you're gonna know on the national stage. Baseball is more regional, but that's for a different topic for a different day. But yeah, James McCann is a former All-Star, just 1 year removed from being an All-Star. The reason why he didn't go back to the All-Star game in 2020 because one, there was no All-Star game. Two, he was taking a backseat to Yasmani Grandal, who might be the second best catcher in the whole of baseball. Now, he ended up signing for 4 years, $40 million. I actually like that. On average annual is $10 million a year. JC Realmuto, on the other hand, he wanted a fifth year for, I believe it was $150. Now, that's crazy money for a catcher. It is crazy money because if you really think about it, look, the last few champions have yet to have like a top 3 catcher in all of baseball. I say McCann is top 10. And look, let's go down the list. You got the Dodgers. Who is their catcher? Will Smith. Is he a top 3 catcher? No, he's not. This guy's like middle of the road. He's average. The year before that, who did the Nationals ended up having? They had Kurt Suzuki. Kurt Suzuki is a top 20 catcher. Top 15 on his best. I would say in his best years, he would be like top 15, middle of the road. Kurt Suzuki, when he ended up catching for the Nationals, he's already had more than plenty of years. Started his years with Oakland, if I'm not mistaken. No, he played for Oakland, and then Minnesota, yada yada yada. But yeah, no. And then the year before that, you had the Red Sox with Christian Vasquez. Christian Vasquez at that time, he was like a top 25 catcher. I mean, now since he's improved, I mean he's a totally different catcher than when he ended up catching for the Red Sox back in 2018. And then the year before that, their catcher, I believe it was Robinson Chirinos, or I could be wrong. Was it Robinson Chirinos? Or I think it may have been Evan Gattis for the Astros. Yeah, Evan Gattis may have been the catcher for the Astros back in 2017. So you see what I'm saying? Like we're going down the list already, and it's like the Mets don't need a top 3 catcher. It's nice, you know. I mean that's like saying what's it called? Like I don't need a Rolex, but I'm perfectly fine with. I mean, if you want to, whatever is the top 5 best watches or whatever. Not that great when it comes to like watches. I think I always forget. Well, what's like the top watch out there? What a Richard Mille? that stuff is like what, like $200K or whatever. But yeah, and that's whatever. But yeah, I mean, I gotta say, like, I'm okay with the signing. I'm officially okay with the signing. Now this gives us opportunity on being able to get George Springer and Trevor Bauer. Now Trevor Bauer on YouTube has hinted on so many levels that he is all for, looking into the Mets. I know his agent, Rachel Luba, is talking with Sandy Alderson, and the new Mets general manager, his name is Jared Porter, but I'll get to that in a second. And I gotta say, I'm really hoping that the Mets already close this deal. If we can get Bauer, McCann, and Springer all in one off season, oh man, I mean, that's got to be just as big as when the Yankees ended up getting in 2009 Teixeira, They ended up getting Sabathia, and they also ended up getting A.J. Burnett. I mean, that's got to be up there, right there. Yeah, man, I can't wait. I'm hoping the Mets, close the deal with Springer, close the deal with Bauer, and then we could just move on. Now, what's going to happen with JC Realmuto? Well, it looks like the Phillies can't afford to bring him back, so I want to know who is going to be able to get JC Realmuto. Well, you got to think about it. Like, what places, really need catchers? I mean, the Cubs, have, Contreras. The Angels, I would say, I know they were in on James McCann. If I'm JT Realmuto, I would look at the Angels. I mean, last year they got Anthony Rendon. They still got the best player in the game, Mike Trout, there. You still got Upton out there as well, too. I mean, the Angels would be a perfect fit for JT Realmuto. Now that I think about it. Yeah, I would say the Angels. Please stay away from the Dodgers. I mean, come on, man. The Dodgers are looking like, the Yankees right now, trying to just grab everybody, which the Mets should be trying to be able to do with Uncle Steve worth $14 billion in his back pocket. He can buy whatever he wants. But anyways, yeah, the Dodgers are just trying to buy everybody at this point. Just JT Realmuto, don't go to the Dodgers. Go to the Angels. And look, I mentioned before that the Mets got a new GM. Yes, they got a new GM. His name is Jared Porter. He was a assistant manager assistant manager in Arizona for the Diamondbacks. I believe the reason why Sandy got him is because he's been on championship teams before. He's been on championship teams with the Cubs and the Red Sox. And Sandy wants to, groom somebody. He wants to be able to coach them up and then make them, realize what it is to be a GM in New York, considering that he was one. But now Sandy is president of operations. He's controlling everything. So, let's see what this guy is able to do. Hopefully, this allows us to sign, deals a lot quicker as opposed to having Sandy Alderson do it. And then lastly, look, guys, big news ended up happening today. Got reported by Buster Only, the great Buster Only. Cleveland has officially dropped their name. They will no longer go by the Cleveland Indians. Now, this is huge. Look, in football, the Washington Redskins have officially dropped their name. Now they call themselves the Washington Football Team. Who knows what Cleveland is going to name themselves? Who knows? I can't imagine. I gotta say, it's gonna have to do something with rock and roll, because I know the Hall of Fame of rock and roll is in Cleveland. So I don't know. It's very interesting. Guys, put out your recommendations as for what Cleveland should name their team. Not that they're officially dropping the Indians as part of their name. But yeah, it should be interesting. I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but it is interesting. It's right timing. I think it was time for the city to drop that name. If it offends Native Americans, then drop it. But they made a great move by dropping it, and let's just see what they end up doing. As for picking out a name, please don't pick anything corny out. Don't pick anything corny out. Pick something that is gonna want fans to be attentive on wanting to wear that merchandise. Until then, guys, I'm Flavo Ariana. Thank you for tuning in. Take your base. Please hit that like and subscribe button, and I will see you guys at a later date. Peace, guys. Have a good one.